that's like the whole song, you know? And then
That's like the whole song. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
that's it.
Woo.
And
That's
then that
it,
little
man.
cow bit, the cow bit.
Yeah. Entertain us.
Yeah, do it.
Here we go now.
Yeah, okay, ready? Wait. 1, 2. You have the lyrics?
I don't have the lyrics, dude. You know, I should know that song called. I mean,
Yeah,
you
there's a
know,
mosquito in there.
that song is the story of my life, dude. I mean, gosh. All right.
Okay, I give up. I give up.
I'm pinging people. I'm pinging people. Look, I'm pinging people. Come
Yes.
join us. Come learn
join
about.
us.
Join us.
VR and AR.
Exactly.
Welcome to IoT Coffee Talk.
Woo!
Finally have David Vasquez back. And we don't have a guest this week because we were lazy.
So it's just us? They're going to have to deal with just plain old us?
I know. But hey,
God.
We've seen plenty of VR, AR, and all kinds of other crap in the world of IoT, or at least people.
So with VR,
mix, right?
Do you just like plug a USB cable into your digital twin to make that work? Is that how it works?
You do a Bluetooth sync, Rob. No one.
Oh, Bluetooth. Oh. Yes. And just to remind everybody, I am totally cellular today.
Yeah.
I'm out on the road. I'm in my car. I'm 5G on the phone, and I'm LTE on the iPad.
Yes.
Clubhouse. We are making this real. We're walking the talk, people.
And you're pixelated, buddy. And we just lost your picture on 5G.
I'm pixelated. You know why? Someone was trying to call me. Someone was just trying to call me.
Oh.
Yeah,
horrible.
It was probably the president or something. I don't know. You know, whatever. It's like, Rob, help us. Give us the 5G. Give me the Glengarry leads. Help us.
There you go. So, hey, David. Talk to us, man. We haven't seen you in 5 weeks. That's sacrilege. That's just horrible.
You know, it is
tragic.
It is the longest I've missed since we started well over a year ago. But I had some work responsibilities, clients first, and had to take care of some things, but I am back. Hopefully,
he's back
now. Yeah.
By the way, so I'm attending South by Southwest virtually this week, and
you don't look like you're in Austin, dude.
No, I'm not.
Dude, get a different background for.
Oh no!
I need the background needs to have the University of Texas Tower behind it.
You guys.
That's how you make it legit, or the state capitol, or Lake Travis. You know, Town Lake. So I went to college there. You know, Austin's a great town, and people like somehow just recently discovered that it's awesome. I don't know how that's possible, but it is.
Yeah.
Didn't people from California discover Austin? That's the word.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. People from California are moving to Austin. And so, you know, I remember listening to McConaughey talking to Rogan, and he's like, yeah, we're happy to have you people, but just don't bring all that freaky shit from California. You know, it's still Texas.
Well, what's the difference between weird and freaky anyways? Right? I mean, Austin is supposed to be weird, right?
It is weird.
It just depends on how you think of freaky. Is it more weird or less weird? Are they contributing, or are they kind of balancing things out, lowering the level of weird?
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Okay. So
it's weird, but
go ahead.
But it's a good weird. It's a good weird, and lots of great
weird.
And you would love it, as you know, because it's a great live music place.
Yeah.
And we are all struggling from not going to live shows.
Oh, big time. Which is which South by Southwest is all about. They talk a lot about experiential media and immersive blah blah blah. So there's a lot of ARVR, which is what we're going to be talking about today. And Verizon is there talking up a storm about XR, or what's also known as extended reality? So it kind of bundles all the mixed reality, augmented reality and virtual reality together, right? But
I don't know.
There's a lot of talk about that. So
I know when we launched HoloLens at Microsoft, I remember we were calling it mixed reality because it was both AR and VR at the same time, with the overlays and stuff like that. But you're right, I've heard XR as well.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I think it's getting pushed by Qualcomm. It's like a Qualcomm thing. But let's talk about it because Rob, you and I, when we were in Barcelona, I think it's now 4 years ago. We were at IoT Solutions World Congress, and AR and VR was actually a pretty big thing. And I think that was about the time when AR and VR were really starting to get hyped up really, really bad. Everyone's walking around with headsets and stuff, right?
It was some kind of clever marketing ploy to somehow associate AR and VR, which was already a stream of something that was already happening. And it's like, hey, let's connect this to IoT. We can do this. And I think what is the name of the company?
PTC?
Was it PTC? Were they the ones who bought Vuforia?
Yeah.
From Qualcomm?
Yep.
Yeah, and they had the best demo, by the way. It was legit. Even if it was fake.
Actually, it was.
Like the visuals, which I think was a clever way to hook up the IoT concept, right or wrong, to AR, VR.
Yeah.
Because, basically they immersed you in, I don't know, what I call it's like an HMI in my face, right? I have this interface, and I'm able to interact with it. And
dude, you're so factory legit. I got an HMI in my face.
Isn't that what it is? Right?
It is. Yeah. It is. It's like, yeah.
And
you're right.
And I think at the time, and maybe even today, because we see this value conversation with security practitioners. If you imagine a security operations
David, just a timeout. The folks on Clubhouse, Charlie, can you just let me know they cannot hear you on Clubhouse? So it's like you're pretending to talk.
Okay, there.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, now I see your little DV flashing with you not having a profile pic, which means you're not really real.
Okay, I am real. This is not a bot, not yet. I have and I have logic most of the time. But back to this AR, VR jumping on the IoT bullet train, their ability to help an operator or end user visualize data. I think that came straight out some of the advanced security operations centers where you have practitioners that are looking at just massive events, trying to do their job better. So that's why, Rob, I thought of is like putting a big HMI in my face. We can think about many of the segments where they're still discussing the AR, VR value. And one commonality is that, so data is all over the place. And when it comes for me to see data, the whole one pane of glass thing, come on, that's on people's collateral. Mm-hmm. So having the back end to put this data together and then use something like AR, VR to present it to the right person gives incredible context. Something that Rick mentioned, which I still agree with, because I also have to, be a little contrarian at times, is that a lot of the reasons why this hasn't scaled so fast, and let's not beat up headset pricing. Hardware is hardware, but content. How difficult is it to get the content you need to deliver the experience, right? So something we're seeing now is new entrants into this market, letting the buyer of the platform create their own content. Like, hey, you're an expert at this. Yeah. You record yourself. You don't need us. We'll give you the platform. We'll give you the tools. So anyway, it's still not so much early days, but it continues to get adopted. And from my view, I think of ARVR as putting better visuals of important data in front of an operator, and I'm going to go HMI on my face. I refuse to call it VR headset. Yeah. HMI.
I don't know, man. Yeah. I think AR is just Robert Scoble in a shower with his Google glasses however many years ago. I think that's the image that's burned in everybody's mind with AR. And it's going to be tough to shake that. People are still having nightmares about that picture. I don't know.
Didn't Johnny Depp have, were those VR glasses for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Oh, yeah.
He had the space.
Yeah.
And you really hit on a key point here is the content aspect, right? So, the way I saw and we're not plugging PTC by any means, although they did some really cool stuff way back then. I'm sure they've progressed things quite a bit since. Is that a lot of the experiences that they were showcasing using AR in particular. There wasn't a lot of VR actually when I think back. AR really seems to be more the modality that is valuable in the IoT context, or at least what people are pursuing. But the important thing is, like what you're saying, is the content. So you have to, like, if you're talking about physical things that you're trying to visualize and represent in new ways in someone's field of vision, you need to have the content. And so a lot of that was being sourced from CAD drawings, right? So you have companies like Dassault and PTC who are in that game of providing tools for product development and managing engineering drawings and stuff like that. So they had that repository of CAD drawings that then they would have digital twins, right? Digital twin data that they would overlay on top of these graphical digital representations, high fidelity digital digital representations of the product or components or what have you. And so some of the cool things that they were doing, I mean, one of the key use cases that they were showcasing was servicing of equipment, right? So one of the demos that I participated in was putting on the HoloLens to look at a pump, and what you could see was a digital overlay of all the components, and you could interact with the components using hand gestures to figure out, okay, how would I remove a particular component so that I can replace it, And so a lot of the use cases that people talk about are things like training, field service, and stuff like that. So that seems to, at least in the early go, be the primary focus areas. But
yeah. My first
I don't know if it actually works in the field, I mean,
my first experience with augmented reality was with Windows Phone. So 1,000 years ago, when we invented the smartphone revolution at Microsoft, and then we invented it again with Windows Phone when we rebooted. And do you remember we did the Nokia thing? And so we had all these great Nokia devices with running Windows Phone. And so I'm going to say 2010, 2011, somewhere around there, we had this whole augmented reality application built into Windows Phone on these Nokia devices, where you would stand there and point the camera around. You're walking on a street, and it had overlays of all the restaurants and information right in your field of view. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And it felt like we were very first to the party there. And then many, many years later, people said, hey, we just came up with augmented reality, and it looks like this. I'm like, dude, I saw that a long time ago. What's up with that? What's up with that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
exactly.
I had to get it off my chest.
Is that, when it comes down to the field user. So before ARVR was, I don't want to say consumerized, but was able to expand its audience. We have been doing similar things with devices that had high-end optics, context-aware lighting with some sort of screen, and end user at the pump, to use Leonard's example, I'm physically there with this device, effectively collaborating over data and voice with the expert, presumably, million miles away in the other side of the moon or Mars, since we're there now again.
Yes, we are.
But so one thing that we continue to see is that because of the issues that industrial, chemical process automation, that segment, the issues that it continues to have with a lot of people retiring, not enough people coming into the workforce, not enough youngins gaining the knowledge that they need to come into this space. This is where it's being heavily leveraged. So it's not only here, watch this video that we took from CAD modeling from MMP1 and we put on a headset, is how do we insert context and to turn a pump. Well, I might have brand X. I have this pump for water pressure in a pipeline, but the experience is going to be very different if that pipeline is in Valdez, Alaska, versus crossing East Texas somewhere, right? So my bets are on the ability for these mixed experiences that include the ability to speak to a human that has this experience within the context of the geography where this thing is being operated. That's going to be the key for field services, which is why I made that that comment of we've been doing this for a while using video and voice. This is not new. Yeah. It's just cooler. Right. It's like this stuff, and you've got some. I know we have in Oregon. There's a couple of the really large mechanical contractors that are talking about this to attract talent. Like, they want to get these kids, straight out of school into a trade school. It's like, hey, look, we're using technology to do this thing that we've been doing for the last 75 years. So anyway, it's helping us. So now an analyst is going to go say that ARVR creates $1.2 trillion of GDP growth, and boom, and it's going to bring down the Oregon unemployment from 6.1 to 0 in 3 days.
Hey, speaking of Oregon, tell me what's up with this, and I'm not going to talk about the weird stuff. What is the deal with the Trailblazers uniforms saying Oregon on them instead of Portland? Have you noticed that?
Gosh, I have no idea, mate.
Oh my God! What kind of Blazer fan are you?
I'm not one. That's the thing. Sorry, man.
All right. Don't worry. He just sold his adopted state down the river.
I'm finding out live, but if the local team from Portland, Oregon, just went from Portland to Oregon under jerseys, all I hear is be inclusive. There's people in Eugene that like the Blazers. There's people in all over the plane that like the Blazers. So anyway,
that's like when we a million years ago decided to build a new football stadium in Seattle for the Seahawks, and they tried to make the pitch that, well, the Seahawks are actually the football team for the entire Pacific Northwest, for all those people in Eugene and way out in Boise, Idaho, and stuff like that. And it's like, what a bunch of crap. Those people are not driving to Seattle to go see the Seahawks. Maybe why? They are.
Because of the infrastructure. Because if we had a train from I don't know, I'm going to go down to Klamath Falls to say all the way to Seattle. Give me a train that I can take my family with, and I can go and watch a night game and then come back after the game. Instead, what's the schedule? Last train to Portland leaves like at 9 o'clock. So what am I going to do? Leave in the fourth inning?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work.
It's just horrible.
I've had this idea for some kind of really hyper fast train.
Elon,
it would go like in a loop between all the way up to Vancouver and then all the way. Yeah.
Is it hyper?
I think it's just,
yeah.
It's hyper. It's hyper. And I think if you bore some tunnels underground, maybe.
Yeah. There you
with
go.
With flamethrowers, I think you might have something.
I would even call her Bertha. Big Bertha.
Yes. I like that.
So,
I like that.
Rob, you guys at Erickson have this smart factory doodad.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a briefing that I attended where, you had some of your colleagues running around with glasses on.
Yes.
A gigantic HoloLens headset. So what's the deal?
Yes.
What are you guys actually doing with this stuff?
This is where we
Tony stuff.
This is where we made it real. I know I may have told this story before. So, a lot of people have talked about, what were the big things about COVID, what worked, what didn't work. And I remember I came up with kind of my one sentence view of it was what really worked was, digital experiences delivered over connectivity to make remote things appear to be local. And this applied to a zillion different things. But to your point, it also applied to how do we open a brand new greenfield smart factory in Texas during COVID when you got problems with getting people around. And so the factory was modeled over a factory we have in Tallinn, right? Estonia. Anyway, so in order to train the people to bring that factory in Texas to life outside of Dallas, we absolutely used those headsets. And so that was how we delivered real-time training to folks. So using our amazing connectivity capabilities at a factory that builds 5G technology to deliver 5G to America, we used our low latency, high speed technologies with these headsets to train in real time from all the way over in Europe to Texas to build out and show how to work with this new smart factory. It was pretty cool. And it was real. It wasn't just like one of those cool demos to get people excited. It was like we made it real for sure.
Oh, wow.
Total value. Because what else could we do, right? Normally you would fly people from Estonia who are the experts to train the people in Texas. And we just couldn't do it, right?
Yeah.
And so, that mother of necessity kind of thing or whatever is happening there.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of times when you have stressors applied to you, you do creative things. And so, the shit's real, man. Well, it's pretty cool.
I think that's
when you have a customer waiting for these things to be made so I can go, put them up. Things happen. But, I thought the coolest, and it's not new per se because it's an AGV and an automated guided vehicle thingy widget. But some of the radios you guys are making there, they're like over 50 pounds. So as part of the as part of this, they basically had custom made AGVs to move them from station to station. And I know that sounds silly, but if you've ever talked to humans that do material handling, and then you ask them about OSHA injuries because of lifting heavy crap. I thought it was genius that they still kept the humans that work on these things, but they just took the lifting of the heavy thing out of their hands and automated it, and works pretty good. Another thing I heard is that the automated vehicles that are in the plant are not using the traditional. You guys will have to correct me here, but they're not using the traditional tape on the floor or the little pointers all over the factory. It's basically using the core for from LTE and 5G that's in there to do all of the navigation, because obviously it's lit up like a Christmas tree. So I thought that was pretty cool too.
It is cool. And speaking of getting help lifting 50-pound things, I just want to give a shout out because I've done some work with these folks. There's a great company in Salt Lake City called Sarcos Robotics. that's building exoskeletons for people. And
that's cool.
It's, dude, you should check it out. But I've spent some time with their folks, helping them out, talking about telemetry and some IoT stuff with their exoskeletons. It's amazing stuff they're building. I mean, if you saw Aliens and you remember Sigourney Weaver at the end of the movie in that giant robotic thing battling the queen alien, that's what they're building. And so it helps people lift more than they could possibly lift on their own. And it's awesome stuff. So definitely go check them out. They're building some revolutionary tech for sure.
Did you hear that we're in the robotics business now? We acquired Incubed IT. So we're in the robotics business.
What's that all about?
Well, so in the context of talking to a lot of customers that have really large facilities, from warehouses to plants and factories, et cetera. Like the whole autonomous vehicle thing keeps coming up. And it gave us, these guys were doing very interesting things at the layer in which they can provide control and automation for the actual robot. So, there's a lot of things that we're doing that, this makes sense because what's one thing that everyone who talks about robotics wants? It's like, hey, I need no latency and I need, wicked speed, right? So now, some of the things that we might see is an application like this that happens to live right on the edge. Let's not get into where the edge is, but on the edge of my network, so I can deliver this service into this factory. So anyway, acquisition is less than 50 months. It's less than 90 days old, and it's Incubed, Incubed IT, and
okay.
Part of the Verizon family. So welcome, in case any of them are listening.
So I have a foundational question here. So is, like, one of the things that I think is always really hilarious is to see how we throw almost every single technology you can imagine into the IoT bucket. So do you guys think AR and VR are part of IoT?
No.
And if that's the case, great. Okay.
Well, sorry. No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's just like analytics aren't. Yeah, let's be real. IoT is plumbing. It's connecting things. It's pathways of sending data to somewhere where you can model the data, and you're going to apply analytics to that data, and you can apply AR and VR and a bunch of other shit to that. But a whole lot of people are trying to glom every other thing and its dog onto IoT, and I think we should steer clear of that.
I'm with.
I know other people. Yeah, I know other people have different opinions on that, but let's not overthink it, man. It's just plumbing.
And it's not that it's not helpful. Look again, like back to that HMI in my face. No, like I can think of a gazillion IoT shops today that have some really cool stuff that an end user can absolutely leverage ARVR to enhance the way they visualize and consume that data. But inherently, AR and VR, it's code. It's I don't know. You're too far from my gateway to call you IoT.
Yeah, but isn't the digital twin sort of a bridge between what you would call plumbing? Because the digital twin is not exactly
it's a bridge,
plumbing, right? It's
I think. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I often think of a twin as the bridge in between IoT and other things. Because remember, what are we doing with IoT? We're replacing a person who has to go visit a thing locally and look at it and figure out what's going on, right? Take down some readings, whatever. We're replacing that activity with connectivity to remotely send that information back automatically to somewhere else. And then you will analyze, do whatever with that digital version of that data. And so when whether you're doing the digital twin thing, which you're not always doing, but if you want to model things,
right,
then you would point your AR and VR just like you point your analytics at your twin. You don't point it at the real machine that's 1,000 miles away. You point it at the twin, which gives you that local copy of the same data that you care about.
Did you say automagically?
Yes.
I mean, it is magic if you think about it. Okay, I just want to make sure I.
It is magic.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think this is really important. It's an important debate. You know what I'm saying? Because Rob, you and I, we've talked about how the semantics sometimes get in the way of progress, right? And how there's so many technologies out there, and we overload. I mean, AI is another example. I mean, you just get into so many conversations where people, oh, AI can't do this. Oh, AI can do this, and then you say, well, what do you exactly mean by AI? And then the person considers a calculator, and I have bumped into a CIO who has told me, well, calculator is AI. I'm like, really? Okay.
Wow.
And so you just have all these folks going around using these terms and just
Joaquin Phoenix with his girlfriend in his shirt pocket. That's AI. Do you remember the movie Her?
No.
Oh, you should watch that. That was actually
yeah. I mean, you keep like throwing us back into history, man.
Yeah, it was ScarJo's voice, but AI, general AI, right, is decades and decades and decades away, right?
Yeah.
We're just doing little tiny bitty things right now with little narrow focused use cases, and we don't always get that right.
I want AI to figure out an AI way to do AI without sucking that much energy. How about that?
Boom.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about.
And Bitcoin.
Yes.
So
but
this should really be these different technologies plus IoT, since it seems like we need to invest a lot of energy into having folks come to a common understanding or a definition of what IoT is, right? In a way.
Yeah.
I just got too serious for Rob.
No, it's a good but we talk
I'm going into convulsions.
we talk about this all the time, but like said in another way is, look, most people get the value that IoT and an IoT platform and all the IoT things can bring. But something that we hear is like, but who's going to help me? Like, I'm an X company, and I get that IoT can help me. Awesome. Who's going to program this stuff? Who's going to develop it?
Yeah.
And because of that business question is why we always there's like so many definitions for what the Internet of Things is. I mean, we stick to the business part of it, and just. Let's not do it for technology's sake. What's the outcome here, right? Where's the channeling Leonard? Where's the dinero?
Yeah, exactly.
Or channeling you, words matter.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No, I mean, you're absolutely correct. Words do matter, and overloading things. I don't know. I don't think it really helps in clarifying stuff. So, I mean, that's kind of...
You running out of coffee?
Yeah.
I am. I'm running out of coffee. I ran out of coffee, and I'm totally broke right now. So, yeah, it's been a weird week. Yeah. So, anyway.
Well,
yeah.
Have we run this thing into the ground?
Oh, I think we have. We have beaten this
burning.
horse. Yeah. I mean, I think... David pretty much summed everything up with his very short, little, concise answer of no.
There you go.
Is AR part of IoT? No. Yeah, that's it. So we chatted. We chatted how long? About 40 minutes, and you just killed everything with just that one word. No. So thank you.
Yeah, because I feel very strongly about it, and I feel that I can argue it, and I feel that I could, get into a third layer of questioning as to why I feel it's a no, which is, and then to your calculator executive example, let's ask better questions. And Let's ask better.
Yeah.
And if people are able to defend their answers in a logical way, now we have discourse and we can make good decisions out of discourse. Let's not read the headline and repeat the headline. Yeah. And this applies for technology and everything else, folks.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know what? In my book, I'd rather talk about, if we're going to talk about VR glasses, let's talk about stuff like, I know, you know, when you read that book years ago, Ready Player One, let's just talk about that stuff. Let's just be plugged in to some kind of gaming crazy world. Because we do repeatedly talk about the AR repair thing, don't we?
Yeah.
With IoT, we do that a lot for sure. Yeah.
So
people are probably getting sick of it.
Yeah. So why don't we do this? Why don't we wrap up, since we're all out of coffee, and move on to the clubhouse inviting people up on stage, right? Sound okay?
That's cool.
Sounds good.
All right. So
I've got from both. So I'll talk.
You have to drop off. Okay, cool. So to all of our coffee,
I might drop off.
Oh, you're gonna drop off too? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep driving.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining, to all of our IoT Coffee Talk listeners and viewers. And remember, check us out at www.iotcoffeetalk.com. Subscribe, push that or press that like button, and we'll see you next week, right?
Peace out.
Adios, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.